Welcome to Starcaster Radio. This is Jules, and I have Naomi and Barbara here with me, and we are so excited to create our new Earth reality with all of you. So this is just a place where you can come and connect to other high-frequency beings as we raise in frequency and open to the consciousness of what it means to live in the new Earth. So today we are going to start with the meditation of the first element. So go ahead and place your hands on your heart and start to breathe up and down the channel along your spine, running from the top of your head down to your root chakra. Breathe in as the energy moves up and breathe out as the energy moves down. Start to relax and let go of any thoughts or worries as the gateway within this channel expands out from your body. This energy expands out, filling your body with the light of God. It expands out even further as it fills your aura with this beautiful golden light. You feel safe and protected in the light of God. With your hands on your heart, tone the sound E. E. With this sound, you are calling in the rays of the prism that hold the 7 elements. Feel the vibration of this tone in your heart. Again, tone the sound E. Call in the 7 rays of the prism in the eye of God. Feel the vibration of this sound in your heart. Once again, tone the sound E. Feel your heart open and allow the 7 rays to enter the chambers of your heart. Before you, there is a beautiful pyramid. The light of the Christ sun shines down through the pyramid and penetrates the 7 rays of light further into your heart. The rays shimmer with an elegance beyond words. Allow your heart to absorb the light, filling your body and aura. The rays of light merge with the golden light of God. You feel the light enter your cells and molecules, raising your vibration. Relax into the frequency of the light rays. You know there is work to be done in order to become the frequency needed to walk through the fire of the God particle. As you have this thought, you feel a presence beside you. In the light body of your high self, ask for permission to enter your physical body and bring you on a journey through the light rays so that you may absorb the 7 elements. You feel the love of your high self and look forward to the journey. As you embrace the light of your high self, you become one. In this new state of being, as one with your high self, you begin to float down a hallway within your heart. You see the door of the first chamber. It holds the violet ray. Within the violet ray is the first element. I am not what my mind says I am. Opening the big, heavy door, you step into the chamber of the violet ray. In front of you, there is a transmitter connected to the copper pyramid crown. You sit in a comfortable chair and allow the guides of this room to fit the pyramid onto your head. You shut your eyes as the electric pulses of the violet ray enter your mind and fill your head with the frequency needed to activate the dormant parts of your brain. Your mind relaxes and lets go of the need to control. The lower mind loses energy as the violet ray activates the higher brain, bringing the mind into universal consciousness. Feel the violet ray balancing the mind and letting go of low vibrational programming. The element of the violet ray opens the door to the universal consciousness, where you have access to the frequencies needed to continue on your journey. Expand out into the cosmos and absorb the knowledge of the stars. Let go of any thoughts and become the stars. Use the machine of your mind to connect to the template of the universe. Your higher mind becomes an intricate system of frequencies that bring you into the violet ray. All right, so we are going to start. Naomi, would you like to start with the first question?
Sure, that was beautiful. Barbara, do we have permission to speak to your higher self?
Yes.
And in this beautiful activation, did you receive any messages or any insights you would like to share?
Yes. It was taking me back to a different time when my physical body existed in the place you called Egypt during the time of the pharaohs. And it took me down the path to initiation, which was a series of doorways and colors walking down this hallway that seemed to have a living texture on what seemed to be rock, but the rock was alive. And as I walked down this hallway, I was taken into a place where the great crystal was stored. And in order to get to this place, I had to use my intuitive knowingness in choosing the proper doorway to walk through. This path to initiation was a very important activity that I had chosen for that particular lifetime. It took me from the physical through physical doorways into the spiritual. And by doing that in that past lifetime and being successful, it has brought me to a clearer understanding in this lifetime of what is needed in order for us to transmute our physical knowingness and perception into our spiritual perception and our true identity. So, yes, thank you.
Wow. And does your higher self have any messages for what Barbara is going through now in third dimension?
One moment. Yes. As with many other spirits in this particular lifetime, not good word, in this particular space, let's call it, of the earth, third dimensional earth reality, many spiritual beings connected to a physical body are going through a transition. It is a battle. It is a battle between the perception of being in a physical body and moving into the spiritual body. The physical body is holding on strongly because it feels it's losing its identity, and there is a war between that and the knowingness of moving into that spiritual place that we need to go in order to make the transition into the new earth and beyond. So in understanding this process, it will carry you into the new earth without fear. So my suggestion would be that you practice a short meditation every day where you see yourself walking down this hallway, seeing the door, seeing the live rock for what it is, knowing that you are part of that energy, so much more than you are of the physical body. As you walk down this aisle, this hallway, you become more and more spiritual. With each door that you open, there will be 7 doors to open before you get to the new earth. So by practicing this quick visualization, maybe shall I say, it can be just a quick visualization in a quiet moment. You become stronger and stronger, and the doorways become easier and easier to unlock and to open. And you do it without expectation, and you do it with the knowingness of the joy of what you will receive when it is time for you to open that last doorway.
So, Barbara, are these 7 doorways connected to the 7 elements?
Yes. Each doorway represents an element. All
so
things
we
are
will
connected.
Great. So I am getting that for the next, for 7 weeks, we will go through the 7 meditations of the 7 elements. So it was so perfect that I read this today. So the first element was, I am not what my mind says I am. Do you have any insights or information that you would like to use to expand on that more than what you've said?
One moment. Yes. The perception is that we are this physical container, because that is exactly what it is, a container. It houses a physical body that is made for the purpose of existing in this third dimensional reality we call Earth. But it is not our true self. It is as if we are sitting in a car. We are the driver. The car is our method of transportation, and it holds that purpose for us. But it is not us. It is just a vehicle. And when we get to our destination and we no longer need the car, we will step out of the car and be free. So that is the representation of our bodies to our higher self, our spiritual, our true self.
Thank you. I have another question about the 7 elements and these 7 doors. So I was told that the 7 elements are a pathway to curing all disease, and that once we enter the door of the 7th element and enter the new earth, that there will be no disease. And basically it's the cure of our genetic dysfunctioning. Is there some information that you can bring in around that?
Yes. Because our bodies are made of these elements. And because we have chosen, chosen these bodies for our mode of transportation. It is our bodies are being, let me say it a different way. Our bodies are a manifestation of our thoughts. And because our thoughts are not pure in this third dimensional reality, then our thoughts are reflected in our physical bodies. So as we move towards the last door, let us call it, or the 7th element, we are becoming aware of our mind's reaction on our bodies. And in doing so, we are changing the diseases or diseases in our body. We are becoming more pure energy, pure light, and therefore our understanding of our thoughts are actually healing our bodies now. The 7 elements represent those stages of passage towards the last door, let us call it, or the different chakras with representing the different light. So you have elements, you have light, and you have energies. All of these are combined to formulate the one true existence. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. That was, it's just beautiful, and this is something that I've been working with for over a year now, and it's bringing more understanding, and I'm just so excited to start diving deeper into what these elements mean. And it's so amazing that we're going to share this on Starcaster for everybody. My question next would be, and Naomi, do you have a question about what Barbara has said so far?
Well, I just have one thing that's coming up to me I would love to ask Barbara about. She said she was successful in this past life. So my question is, Barbara, is it possible to stand on the New Earth platform and have your third dimensional self activate the DNA you share with that lifetime?
Let me see. Let me say it this way. That DNA from that lifetime, you are each person, all the past lifetimes, let's say that, all the past lifetimes, all the different energies that you have experienced are all contained in your DNA. And when you move into a different level, let us call it, of spiritual understanding, and you become more awakened and aware, that particular strand of DNA is activated. And it will be activated at the particular time it is programmed, let us say, to be activated. So you have heard of the concept that we all have free will, yes?
Yes.
What that means is that free will is for you to choose while you are in existence in this physical body, for you to choose if you will activate a particular strand of DNA to open up your awareness at a particular time. So you have heard we take different paths in our lifetime. And as you look back on your past lives, or as you look back on this lifetime, you can see where your life was changed by a decision that you made along the pathway. So therefore, you can change when your DNA is being activated. That is what we call free will. But when you begin to walk your pathway on your spiritual journey, and you make a request that you choose to follow your spiritual path, then you are making an affirmation, an intention to be guided by your higher self, your spiritual self, down this pure pathway towards the transformation from the physical into the spiritual or the light body. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. Could we make like a group intention to activate our DNA?
Yes. May I make a request?
Yes.
Please.
When we make this group intention, we need to give the power to all that are listening for it to be their choice to walk this path. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to add to that, for those that choose to have their DNA awakened today, that the higher mind connect to this activation, so that higher awareness and the frequency of the mind raises as well, so that we can fully absorb the first element today.
Yes.
So standing on the New Earth platform, I asked to absorb the first element.
I can really see the violet ray come in when you said that. I really feel it even in my heart.
Yes. There is violet energy expanding and pulsating all around. It is a very powerful intention and would be most beneficial at this particular time in our existence. Thank you for that suggestion.
I just had a question come to me as we were just absorbing that first element, and it was that once we enter the seventh door and absorb the seventh element, that, and maybe this is connected to the past life that you were just talking about, Barbara, but I had this vision of the Great Pyramid, and almost as that it was like an academy responsible for building temples or magnetic centers, and it was connected or represented the eighth chakra or the eighth element. So there, I'm seeing that there's actually an element beyond the seventh element, but it's not. I'm not really sure. Do you have some information on that? And then I keep hearing this sentence of it's the city of suns.
Yes. The pathway to initiation has been tried by many and failed many times because we as physical beings have made not understanding, let's put it that way, not understanding the true meaning of the spiritual journey to initiation. That is why there has been many who have tried and few that have made it in numerous lifetimes. So what is the meaning of this pathway? It is the connection of spirit to the physical body, bypassing the brain and talking to the physical body, car, whatever you want to call it, that we are riding in, and the physical body then recognizes the spirit as the true guidance rather than the brain. So it totally bypasses the brain. And when we reach that seventh door, the city of the sun is the giant crystal that is in the middle of this room. And it is so brilliant that there is so many light rays coming out that when you gaze upon it, you're immediately transformed into light. And this pyramid, the crystal is located beneath the Great Pyramid, and the doorway is located at the base of the Sphinx. It has been walled off. It has not been used in many centuries because we as a population moved into this mechanical world, the scientific world, away from the spirit. And this is why we are having the war we are having on the earth now between, as the old saying goes, good and evil. It is being manifest at this point in our existence. This is why it is so important for us to understand our role in bringing the light into the earth and helping all those that are searching in the darkness for the light and help them to see the truth of who they are and what they're capable of doing. So the city of the sun, as you have called it, is the great crystal that is standing at the underground in the Great Pyramid. And at one time, the Great Pyramid was receiving energy from that crystal, and it was being projected through that pyramid up through the top of the pyramid, which used to be gold, and it was spread all over the earth. And we as physical beings were receiving this light energy, and it was connecting to all the grid that is circling the earth, sort of like if you could envision a power plant sending energy, electrical waves out to the grid, which was like wires or, conduit of electrical energy that covered the earth and bathed the earth in spiritual light energy. But now the dark forces have manipulated that grid, and it is like missing connections. This is what the light beings are trying to help us reconnect that grid, so that the light, the Christ light, can come back to the earth and spread its energies all around the earth and become energy and light again. And when that happens, we will be transformed through light rays into the new earth, and the new earth will be transformed into a light energy earth. Just as when we were being initiated, when we entered that room with the great crystal, the beams of light shot out, and it filled our bodies with this light energy, and it was like an explosion of ecstasy. This is what we are trying to recreate now in this particular time and space.
So as you were saying that, Barbara, I had two things come in. One is I have a question. If you were saying that the doorway is at the base of the Sphinx, and right when you said this, I had this vision come to me that we all hold that frequency, and that the doorway is the eye of God. Can you reflect on that?
Do you mean physically or spiritually?
I guess for me that they're both the same. It's just, but I guess what I'm asking is that, do we each hold this doorway to this, the city of suns within us?
Yes, most definitely. We were all given that when we chose to come into this third dimensional reality. That information was embedded or programmed into our crystalline body. So we all have the ability to open that door and take that path. But there is a prerequisite before doing that, because you can open that door and you can take that path, but that does not mean you will reach the city of the sun. If you choose that, and then that particular lifetime is ended if you do not reach the seventh door and are able to open it. So it cannot be taken lightly. That is why you have to make the intention that you are ready for that pathway. Do you understand?
I do, and I'm seeing that. So the other part that I was seeing as you were talking is just holding the energy, the purity within my heart, and then taking 11 steps. And each step that I was taking with my intention, I'm opening myself to be a channel of reactivating this grid through the love of my heart. So I think that I'll play with that today, but then as you continue to talk, I'm almost seeing our community of, our Starcaster community joining hands and all choosing to bring the light back into this grid. through our loving intention and from our, like you would keep saying, beyond our mind. And so I'm not sure exactly what that looks like, and I think it will probably develop over time as we move through the seventh elements, or the 7 elements. But do you have if one chooses a exercise or, like I'm seeing taking these 11 steps with the intention of love, is there something that if one chooses we can do to assist the activation of this grid?
One moment. Yes. The main purpose of any action while we're in third dimensional reality is the intention. The intention is so important. So when you make the intention that this is your purpose, this is your wish, then you are set on that path. Now, that doesn't mean that you only make one intention and it is so. You must keep bringing your spiritual mind back into your consciousness and requesting that you are connected to that spiritual existence and bypassing your physical mind. And the more you do that, the more you're capable of staying connected to that spiritual mind and you're receiving truth. It is so important that you understand the difference between the physical controlling mind and the spiritual loving mind. So by doing these intentions of your wishes, of the connection to your spiritual mind, and the recognition when you're not connected to the spiritual, that becomes stronger and stronger as you intend and are focused more on that outcome.
That was beautifully said, Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions at all, Naomi?
No, but just to add to what Barbara was saying, I'm getting the message when these higher frequencies come in to try to hold them for 33 seconds, because once we can hold it without exploding, once we can hold that frequency in for 33 seconds, then we can recall that frequency as we like.
Lovely.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to add, Barbara?
One moment. Yes. In closing, my spiritual self, let's call it my spiritual self, my higher self, wishes to send energy and love to all that is listening and to connect to all light beings through the intention that we are all one in the body of God, and understanding that we all are one, we become more powerful and more connected. So it is our wish that all that is listening hear these words and recognize our connection as a part of the God body.
Beautiful. Naomi, did you have anything more that you would like to say?
No, I think it's just perfect.
Great. So we're going to finish today with an exercise or homework that we can do to continue to absorb the first element, which again is I am not what my mind says I am. Focus on your brain. Feel the energy moving inside of it. Can you feel the different parts of the brain? The left and right hemispheres are a good place to start. Which side feels more active? Play around with sending the violet ray to both hemispheres of your brain. Fill your entire head with this light. Do this until the brain feels balanced in the violet ray. Ask that all parts of your brain evolve into oneness and be activated into higher consciousness. What parts of your brain feel inactive? Send more light to these areas. Repeat this exercise every day until the brain is balanced in the violet ray without needing to do it yourself. During this time, be aware of when your mind is controlling you. Remember, this complex machine wants to control you. It is time to awaken to the power in the brain and allow the dormant energies to enter and to fully activate. To know you are not your mind is to master this first element of the violet ray. Okay, well, I just want to send my love to all of you, and this was such a powerful session. And Barbara, thank you and your high self for contributing all this amazing energy today. And until next week, I look forward to just holding this frequency of the violet ray in the first element. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you all so much. And Barbara and Naomi, I'm going to have you go ahead and hang up because I'm having trouble with the recording to stop. So we will talk to you guys in just a few. Much love. See you next time.
Bye.